So without further ado, I'm going to call my friend, Mr. Jonny Damon first. And let's welcome him, everyone.
I didn't get to vote on who got to go first, though, so I feel undue pressure. And I'm a little nervous. Does the 5 start now?
Ready to push the button.
Well, I can just take a breath then and just wait.
All right, center yourself.
Good afternoon. Thanks to the Alliance and your whole team, like you mentioned, for creating this opportunity. I am here to share a prayer and a dream, really, that is Cowan Park. My ask is for help, whether through the Alliance and its resources, or maybe through a relationship with someone else that's here, that we start something that's a future partnership. I don't really know, but I'm asking for help with raising $100,000 of the $1.1 million needed to realize the next phase of Cowan Park. And we're doing this primarily looking for donors who are resonating with the heartbeat of what we're trying to come alongside and do. So thankfully we've raised 35% of this goal already, and we've used that to already purchase the property that we think is going to be the linchpin in this project. So that is exciting, one massive hurdle that is behind us. Our why, it is very simple. The why behind Cowan Park is actually part of Gateway Church's bigger why. We have 3 things that we are all about. We exist to help people encounter the person of Jesus Christ unashamedly. That is our number one goal. But we also then exist to help people experience community and embrace the mission that they might be able to do in their own life. So Cowan Park is really getting at that middle one. The opportunity for people to experience community, to have safe spaces where you can have a wedding or a barbecue or a party or meet a friend and have a hug and share a burden and just have a discussion, meet for coffee. To feel like you belong is important. It's very important. And not everyone in our community has that same equal opportunity to have places like that. Just last month it was fun and sad, and both of those emotions at the same time. We helped a Latino family. We gave them our campus for the day because they were desperately trying to find a place to have a family party. And they told us afterwards, thank you very much, through a translator actually, thank you very much. No one lets us have our parties anywhere because the language barrier is too difficult. So we want to create a space that is equitable for everybody, a place where everyone can belong. And we know that there are differences, but we want all to experience community until we're all flourishing. So we're pursuing this next phase of Cowan Park because we see the challenges. We see the physical, emotional, mental, and uniquely spiritual as a church deficiencies in our community. The place to belong is becoming more and more hard to find. We know full well, as we observe the hundreds and sometimes thousands of people that walk through our doors every week, that there are harder and harder places to belong, and we're in the middle of a fight of isolation, especially post-COVID. That isolation is setting in, and we are trying our best to get away from it. And we think one of the antidotes to that is setting the table for people to come and just be around each other, to enjoy nature, to throw a frisbee, to watch your kids play at a park that you might not have to scan for danger around. Those are important things for us. We think Cowan Park can be a small part of that solution. The gap we see is that there's pockets where this is being done well in our community, but not nearly enough. You guys see a map in your program, actually. We see the deprivation that's all around us. We don't have to look very far. We also see that there's upwards of 150,000 people potentially moving into Chesco in the next 20 years. I don't know if you guys live where I live, but there are dozens of people moving into my neighborhood on the daily, it feels like. So this place is about to go crazy with people. Are we ready for it? I'm not super sure, but we're trying. So what are we doing about it? We've already built about 15 acres of green space for our community. We're always adding and trying more and more things. That's a picture of mostly our campus on the western side of the district. We have green space. We're always adding more to make them excellent. Walking trails, disc golf courses, fishing ponds. We're dreaming of future sports fields and so much more. A pavilion we recently built has been a dream come true for us and a blessing for many. we're hoping to add, in addition to that, kitchen space for you to come and cook a meal while you're there, or public restrooms, the amenities that make having a place to go to a little more nice and fun for everybody. We're also in the process of a potentially 4,000-ish square foot community hub building that'll serve a lot of purposes, but hopefully as we build what we're looking to need as a church family that's growing, to be able to offer up those blessings to others. So if we need to build a recording studio, we're going to open that up to have everyone else use those things as well, hopefully. God has been super faithful. For years, this has been prayed over and prayed over and prayed over. In 2019, we started roughing a lot of this out. And we've added a little bit and a little bit as we go. We just purchased the property right next door to us. It was actually right in the middle. This little donut hole right in the middle of our property came up for sale this last March. So we just purchased that. And that's going to be the thing that really unlocks the potential to do a lot of the things that we have dreamed up. So we're hoping to be 50% funded in the next year so that we can really get rolling and moving. And then over the next 2 years, we would wrap that up as well. So we have about 800,000 more to go. We've already raised about 400 of it, and we're excited to find partners that are willing to do it with us. So my team is awesome. I could put hundreds of pictures up, but I took these 3 specifically, and they're just 3 pictures of our volunteers. Our volunteers are our lifeblood, and they're the ones that give up their time, their talent, and their treasure to make this happen. So they're doing it on the cheap in their own time, and we wouldn't be anywhere without our team. So we're thankful for them, thankful for you guys. Thanks for listening, and I'd love to talk to you afterwards if you have any questions about it. So thank you very much. Oh yeah, I'm up for 5 more minutes. Well, I was gonna add a few more things. I'm just kidding, it's your turn. Yeah.
The microphone. Right. Jonny, could you just once again more slowly go through how you are prioritizing what you're going to do with funding? That would help me. I know it was on a couple of the slides.
Sure. So our next phase, if you look at this, we have the first major piece of this was the purchase of the property. So we had that donut hole in our property, like I said. We own about all of this, but we didn't own this little middle piece. So we were always struggling with how to get resources out to these other parts of our campus. So the first part of that is done. We've already purchased the property. But the next phase is going to be really, it's in such a condition that it's all going to be needing to be redone. So we're tearing that down and putting in the things like the kitchen that'll service this multi-use community pavilion, public restrooms for that to happen. Golf course and stuff is out here. We're hoping someday to add sports fields and some other things. So the priority though would be getting enough to start the reno project for here so that we can continue to add the necessary perks.
I see a building tucked in the middle there.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying? That building needs to be renovated?
Yes, it's actually not a renovation. It's probably going to get tore down and restarted. So it was a very pretty rough shape residential house that we're going to be turning pretty commercial. So yeah, it'll meet a lot of the needs for a lot of the things that are kind of like waiting to be unlocked for out there. Because right now, even as simple as restrooms are, if you're out here having a party, you've got to walk to the church to use the restroom. So we're hoping to add some things out there that'll make it a little more convenient for people. Or if you're at this playground right here and your kid has to go potty, you're also running. Yeah. Yeah. So we've all been parents at a park without a restroom, and it's just slightly annoying.
Do you have plans for, are there any plans for marketing so that way you can get more information out to people outside of the church?
Yeah, our in-house communications team will probably do a little bit of that, depending on how much I'm able to help raise outside of our donor base, who's already been like they've already raised about 400 of this to get at it. We're going to probably pursue a capital campaign again with even our own people and as many community partners as we can. As a church, we're rarely asking for money. We're usually asking for like gift in kind. So like the plumber that does this, I'm going to ask them to like, can you do this at cost for us? And most places are pretty willing to help a nonprofit out, so that's where we get most of our help. Most of the funding is probably going to come from our family and inside house, though. So, but yeah, it'll be as marketed as we can once we get our head around it. So we're waiting on some permit stuff right now and some building plans as well. So yeah.
Jonny, great energy. I feel it. Your passion's coming out. So thank you for presenting today. A couple quick questions. How many people in your congregation?
Yeah, we have about, that's a tough question, how to measure church dynamics, because the stats tell us now people go to church 1.4 times a month. So it's hard to gauge. But
Okay.
we have about 1,000 on a weekend that come through the door on a Sunday.
Okay. And I appreciate you building in the aspects of the health component,
Yeah.
particularly as you recognize everything's a public health epidemic now, but
Yeah.
the isolation is clear. It's already here.
Yep.
So I would, consider maybe including opportunities for older individuals. So ease of access and area, whether it's shuffleboard, that kind of stuff. And then additionally, would you anticipate charging for the use of the property?
The goal is 100% no.
Great.
We actually, this pavilion that got built, it got built only because a senior citizen in our church family passed away and left enough money to build it. And we made a commitment to never charge a penny for it forever. That was our commitment. Every once in a while, if a group needs to use the inside facility, we might charge like a small cleaning fee to get the restrooms back in order. But
Yeah.
everything else outdoors is free to use. It is public for everybody. And we're hoping not to ever charge for the use of anything else we add either.
I think if you remain free to the public, you open yourself in the future for green space
Sure.
funding. So I like that idea. And then when you get to the commercial kitchen, make sure you come to the health department. We'll make sure you get it
got
and
you.
you get licensed.
I got you.
Shameless plug.
I got you.
So the idea of this is a community park with health and wellness aspects, as well as community space for people to have parties and things. She asked my question about the cost, so it would be free to the public. I think it's a great idea. There needs to be more spaces where a community can come together. I think the issue is how to get the community there that you may have, so that may be something you need to think about, but the idea is nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I think the only question I had, just I'm not familiar with the area it's in. What's the accessibility like with public transportation?
Yeah, so I know things like the link and other things probably pass us. We're not at like a stoplight or anything, so that could always be a potential addition stop. That wouldn't be an issue. Like accessibility is pretty good. We're working on like handicap accessibility. We're not beholden to all the rules because we're a nonprofit. We're not like, we don't have to uphold certain commercial standards for that, but we're working on that as funding allows, but we're about as accessible by car from anywhere as you can get. We're right in between the two roads, or Business 30 and the bypass. So we're about as close to major roads as you can get. Between Harry's and Walmart, if you don't know where we are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add, I don't have a question. I think you did a great job. Your passion really came through there, and you did a great job demonstrating the need. So I really like the idea.
Thank you very much.